Alright, so we got the garden update for August 3rd, 2022. I'm Jackson, if you don't know, with Edible Garden Growers. Here we got one of our pepper beds. This is our 30-foot bed. We've got some row cover on it because we were sitting up above 100 degrees for all of last week, and my plants are flowering, so trying to reduce the risk of flower drop. If things get too hot, peppers will start dropping their flowers. These are my mostly Chinese in these beds. We got Reapers in this row on the left and Ghosts on the row on the right. They are just now starting to flower. We are pretty far behind, so I'm hoping we get something. If the season lasts long enough, we'll be fine. Usually I'm already harvesting by now, so that's a bit of a bummer. They're not doing too bad other than that. This row we got pepperoncinis on the right and jalapenos as well. Mix of a bunch of different kinds. These guys are kicking butt already. The Anims have been doing well. The Chinese are just a little bit slower putting those flowers out. Let's see if we can, come on, turn camera. One red one in there. Row on the left is going to be Lemon Drops, one of my favorites. These guys have already been putting out a ton of flowers. We got pods hidden on the inside. One of my most productive plants. Do super well. Yeah, I just love these guys. Grape plant has been absolutely killing it this year. Stoked we finally got a trellis for it. It is pretty much overgrown the whole thing. Echinacea had a bunch of bees on it earlier today. Got some yarrow here. Just harvested this bed, which was onions. This bed was all garlic. This bed we got some chard, some greens that are now bolting. Harvested a bunch of it, leaving some go to flower for the pollinators, and then also just going to feed to the chickens. The rest of the bed was supposed to be basil, but I had issues with my basil. Instead, it's got some weeds. I don't know what kind of weed. I don't like them. Do have some basil though. It's been doing pretty good. The calendula has been just kicking butt this year. A lot of them are starting to die back now. This acts as a great banker plant. If you've got aphids as a problem, these guys will just flock to it. So you can see all the aphid exoskeletons. They shed their skin as they get bigger. We've been having, oh, there's one right there. Lots of ladybugs coming and munching. So anytime I've been seeing a bunch just a few days later, there's not as many. So I've not had any issues with my peppers this year with getting aphids once the calendula popped up, because they've just been getting kept in check by aphids have been wanting to go to the calendula instead and then getting eaten by all the good bugs. That's a weed. Get out of there, weed. Blueberries. Planted those into the ground this last spring. Have not been in super well. I don't think I made the soil quite acidic enough. Blueberries aren't really my jam. I love them, but not the best at growing them yet. This bed was onions. It's now getting overgrown. This is all chicory. I cut it down before it went to seed. We're gonna be making some basically dandelion root coffee with that. But yeah, look at this grape plant. That is one plant. It is huge. I am not much of a skilled grape grower, but it looks like I am. Got a pepper bed here. Finally starting to be able to see the smiley face that I made. It's been a slow grower. But that's the front yard, so we'll go to the backyard now. Bunch of berry plants we got going here. Variety of different kinds. We got some peppers that are not looking so hot in these pots. More peppers up here. Pumpkin are a little bit behind where I'd like them to be, but they're finally starting to take off. Get up onto the top and cover our chicken coop, give them a little bit more shade. Got some more squash over here. More pumpkins that I planted a little bit late, going kind of slow. And then we got a bunch of different types of squash, delicata squash, acorn squash, all sorts of stuff. And they have just been taken over. I'm surprised how well they're doing, because that bed was a very sad bed the last couple years. He's got pepper plants. These guys are all a little bit behind. Like, especially these ones. These are a variegated variety. Got a lot of white on them, so they're not photosynthesizing a ton. At this point last year, my pepper plants were huge, but just got a really late start due to the weather, but they're starting to perk up now. This one I'm real excited about. Fidalgo Roja. If you're wondering what the bags are, it's to isolate flower sites so that way I can ensure a higher chance of not having cross-pollination issues. If you're wondering what these guys are on the ground are, it's buckwheat. It attracts beneficial insects that help keep away bad bugs. These two 10-foot rows are sweet peppers, but again, I just have had a real rough year with my peppers. Except for that bed in the front. The bed in that front is doing a bit better because I had greenhouse covering on it, so I was able to get things in the ground sooner. They're able to avoid all the elements. Whoop, falling over here, falling on a pot. Tomatoes, really late to the game on those this year, but they're starting to make a turnaround. Got a trellis for half of them, not so much on this side. One of my cabbages, kicking butt, purple cabbage. Oh, some seed pod just fell. I don't know where, but I heard it. Then we got strawberries. More strawberries in the ground over there. Oh, that thing looks sad. What's going on with it? Is it a watering issue? Oh, you might just be super dry. Let me feel the soil. The soil's pretty dry, but I wonder if it's got some sort of wilt problem. Something in the soil? I don't know. Cucumbers. Oh my god, it's the first one I've seen. Yeah, it's just been a real bad year for a lot of my summer crops, but you know, filming it, showing what I'm doing. More cukes. These guys are usually a lot taller by now. I don't really have a whole lot to show in this video. I'm just kind of doing it for the sake of doing it. And I just harvested this bed a little bit ago, a couple weeks ago. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Oh, this stuff. I really love this. Sorrel's been kicking butt. If you're not familiar with it, it kind of tastes like oxalis, the clover. If you ever grew up eating those as a kid, hopefully you're lucky enough to have that in your area. This is what it looks like when it starts to flower and put out its seed pods. So it's gonna drop everywhere and I'll start pulling them up. Well, that's basically the gist of it. So thanks for watching. Hopefully by the next video I'll have a lot more fruit to be showing you, or you know, fruit of my labors at least, rather than just a bunch of foliage. And yeah, thanks for watching.